Are you too busy? Too stressed out? Unhealthy? Then this is the place for you. Welcome to Balanced Living for Busy Professionals, where we help you create wellness and balance with a holistic approach that will work for you, even with the busiest of schedules, so you can live the life you want. And now, here's your host, Diane Randall.
Hello and welcome back. Do you feel you've lost some of your energy, or maybe most of your energy? Or maybe you feel like you're just getting by and you would like to come home at the end of the day with some energy to spare rather than feeling drained and in need of a break. In today's podcast, I'm going to share 5 of my energy boosting tips for busy people. These are all simple and proven ways to help you stay healthy. In other words, if you identify and reduce your stress triggers, you learn to pace yourself, you take excellent care of your mind, body, and spirit, set boundaries around your life, and create a support system, you can increase your energy levels and they can remain high all through the day, no matter how busy your schedule. How many of you woke up this morning feeling drained? I see all the hands going up. How many of you hit the snooze button more than once? You finally made it out of bed. Did you mentally bargain with yourself for extra time? You know what I mean. I can't sleep. I need 5 more minutes. You know, that mental conversation you have when you start making a deal to give up some part of your morning routine in exchange for a little more sleep. Or maybe you're full of energy in the morning, but you feel yourself winding down by mid-morning, or your usual afternoon includes looking for toothpicks to hold your eyelids up, or cozying up to the coffee pot, or chugging down a can of Red Bull or some other energy drink. Energy is a funny thing. Nearly everything you do affects your energy level, and when you are constantly running from one thing to the next, it's easy to feel drained. As a busy professional, you have more responsibilities than ever. The number one problem I hear from most everyone I speak to is that they don't feel they have enough energy to get everything done in their life. The world is moving faster than ever, and it has with it many distractions, and it can seem like life is passing you by. And if you don't take the necessary steps to protect and renew your energy levels, you tend to suffer from fatigue, stress, health problems, all the things that bring your body to a halt. I can tell you from personal experience how important it is to boost your energy regularly, because I've been exactly where you are. In the past, I was teaching a software training course that ran a full week, 5 full days, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 every day. And by the time Friday rolled around, I was so exhausted from talking, answering questions, and dealing with all of the dynamics of a classroom full of highly technical adults. Every part of me was drained, physically, mentally, even emotionally. Every time I taught that 5-day class, it would take me at least 2 weeks to get my energy back. Just 2 weeks to feel like myself again, fully energized. And as professionals, when you find yourself in situations like the software training class, you realize pretty quickly that you don't have 2 weeks every time to take a break and recharge. Work keeps moving on, family keeps going, your responsibilities stay constant. So how do you replenish the energy that you're constantly expending to take care of what needs to happen every day? This is just to make sure that you're fueling yourself and not consistently being drained of your energy. I'm going to help you solve this dilemma with 5 proven tips you can use every day so that you don't need to take 2 weeks off just to recharge. I'll share with you how to take care of yourself so that you feel better and maintain a healthy physical, mental, and emotional balance. And I use these energy boosting tips personally to help me reclaim the energy I expend so that I can feel revitalized throughout the entire day. And I'm not talking about drinking a 6-pack of Red Bull or eating energy bars or drinking a venti extra bold coffee from Starbucks or a complicated latest fad program that's too difficult or time consuming to stick with. No, these are 5 common sense ways to manage your energy and create a system of support to maintain your well being. In my experience, I've learned that managing your energy, not time, is the key to enduring and optimizing your energy level. And this is in addition to your health, your happiness, and life balance. Being fully engaged for periods of time and then fully disengaged and seeking renewal. I think you'll find these tips will help make your life more manageable, make your life healthier, less stressful, and more enjoyable. So let's begin by talking about the first energy boosting tip. And this one is very important because it affects us on a daily basis. And this is identifying and reducing stress triggers. One of the biggest things that can drain our energy is stress. And this is why people who are depressed often have a difficult time getting out of bed or finding the energy to deal with even the simplest things in life. The stress is literally eating them alive. Stress zaps your strength. It leaves you unable to deal with everyday events of life. Now, I can imagine you're saying, Diane, you don't know how busy my life is. You don't know what I'm up against. I can't get away from stress. It's just one thing after another, and I can't just walk away from it all. Yes, you're absolutely right. Stress is unavoidable. It's something we all have to deal with. The traffic, work, marriage, family, health issues, the economy, things that would break at the worst time. All of these things pile onto our stress levels. You might not be able to get away from stress, but you can find healthy ways to cope with it and minimize the impact. First, you have to identify the cause or the circumstances of the stress. This is called your stress trigger. If you can identify it, you are better equipped to deal with it. Take a look at your life on the inside out, where you are, your physical and emotional state. Then take a look at your reaction. Is it productive, or do your stress triggers lead to unhealthy behaviors such as stress eating, drinking alcohol, or smoking? When you begin to see what kind of stressors you associate these triggers with, you can begin to unravel them to develop ways to cope with the stress. Instead of turning to chocolate cake or your favorite comfort food, or taking a smoke break or drinking an extra glass of wine, I want you to try 3 new ways of responding. The first one is releasing, the second one is reframing, and the third one is acceptance. And I recommend that you may want to write this down or feel free to just re-listen to the podcast. Releasing stress can be as simple as learning to say no. And how many of you feel that without you, things just won't get done? Often, you do so much that you fall into the trap of thinking that you carry all the responsibility. And if you don't do it, then it won't get done correctly. Or you don't want to disappoint anyone, your boss, your family, your friends. You feel everybody's counting on you. You must learn to release yourself from this do-all position in service of your health and your well-being. Managing stress means sometimes saying no or saying yes, with a really big qualifier. Know when you're getting overwhelmed and regroup. You'll reduce your stress before it completely drains you. Another way of releasing is to simply step away from the stress. And I use this one a lot. What I mean by this one is just to go outside for a walk, for some fresh air, for a few minutes. And if you can't walk outside, maybe you can just walk around the building inside, from the inside, go up and down the stairwell. Just get away from where you are at that moment. Listen to music or an audiobook, maybe listen to a chapter or read a chapter on your digital device. People watch, do something that relaxes and empowers you in that moment. Something that gets you out of your head and away from where you are at that moment your stress shows up. Try to create surroundings that are peaceful and soothing. Whatever gives you energy, use it as your backup plan in a pinch when stress starts to bring you down. So, what I'm advocating is that you figure out what helps you to relax and what renews you so that you know exactly what to do when you're in the midst of stressors. Sometimes all you have to do in order to relieve stress is to change how you think about it, and this is called reframing. The problem can bring an immediate change with lasting results. Looking at the positive completely changes your attitude and your response, and you may even begin to see the stressor as something beneficial to your life or of little importance. Maybe all you need to do is look at it from a different perspective to find the energy you seem to be lacking in the moment. There are times when there's simply nothing you can do about stress, and if you can't release it, then the best thing to do is accept it. And when you accept where you are, you can look at life or look at what's happening and move from there and find healthy ways to deal with it. For example, if you know your board meeting is going to stress you out, plan for a trip to the gym before or after the meeting and find some quiet time to distress before you attend the meeting. Build these stress relieving activities in and around events where you know stress is given, and develop a plan for when stressful situations pop up unexpectedly, because we don't know what's going to happen moment to moment. And it's not what happens, it's your reaction to what's happening. Stress can sneak up on you. If you have a plan in place for dealing with it, then you won't get caught with your guard down. Use your stress plan to manage it and accept that it's part of life until there is something you can do to change it. And if you can't change it, accept it. Learning to pace yourself is the second energy boosting strategy. And as busy professionals, I think this is probably the hardest tip to follow. You feel like you have to be everything to everyone, but this is simply not the case, and it's way too easy to become the poster child for the old saying, the more I do for others, the less they do for themselves. Learning to say no is a vital part of staying healthy. When someone asks you to do something that you feel obligated to do, but you know that you don't have time to do it, don't be afraid to say no. Or if you have no choice, say yes. Don't be afraid to add a firm qualifier and stick to it. For example, you can tell the person that asked you to write a proposal, you can say, I can have this proposal ready in 5 days, or I am available this afternoon for 1 hour between 3 and 4. There is only so much of you to go around, so don't spread yourself too thin. Determine what makes you happy and make sure you do something each day that gives you what you need. I want you to pay attention to the parts of your life that are most important. And if you don't know what's most important, it's just time to figure that out. Create daily practices that nurture your ability to build energy levels, like taking a mental break. I mentioned some of these earlier, eating a healthy snack, and breathing in deeply. You'd be amazed at what 10 minutes of downtime can do to help you relax. Focus on the present and what's in your ability to control. Don't schedule work for every minute of the day, because realistically, you can't work every minute of the day. Remember this when you're planning your next project, your next job, and allow yourself plenty of time to get the work done. Otherwise, you'll be behind before you even begin. And breathing room is the best defense against building undue stress. With less stress, you'll find you get more done, and you may even have some time to spare, believe it or not. Energy boosting tip number 3 is simple. Take care of your body. Tony Robbins said, the higher your energy level, the more efficient your body. The more efficient your body, the better you feel, and the more you will use your talent to produce outstanding results. To offset the effects of stress, you have to attend to your body. You have to. It doesn't run or stay healthy on its own. Unfortunately, when you find yourself scrambling to handle all the things that life brings your way, often the first thing that suffers is the time you would take to maintain your physical well being. You know the argument. If I exercise, I would feel better, but I'm too tired and I don't have time, so I don't exercise. So I feel even more tired, so I don't exercise. It's a vicious circle. Make taking care of yourself a high priority. The time you spend maximizing your health and well being directly increases your energy level. The higher energy level, the better you feel. So just take care of yourself. Find out what works for you. And that includes getting plenty of rest and doing something physical every day. I'm not advocating that you join a gym. You need at least 30 minutes of physical activity every day. And this is something that rarely gets accomplished when you are navigating the busyness of life. I purchased one of those activity bands that track your daily activity, and it sends me an alert to move when I've been sitting more than 1 hour. And I love this because it's a reminder constantly during the day that I haven't moved. So I love that. And once I get that alert, I get up and I move. I may walk for 5 or 10 minutes and then come back to my desk. But if you do 5 or 10 minutes every hour, that adds up. So find something that works for you to help you relieve your stress. Having a regular exercise and eating healthy foods is extremely important. If you aren't sure how to create this plan, get some help to do this. You don't have to be an expert of nutrition and exercise, but get some support if you need help. It's nothing wrong with asking for help. It's up to you to take responsibility for your own health, for your mind, your body, and your spirit. It doesn't matter if you have an award-winning plan. It won't do you any good if you don't follow it. Earlier in this podcast, I talked about developing healthy ways to cope with stress rather than stress eating. There are many ways to take care of your physical body. For example, scheduling a massage can do wonders for how you feel as a person. And I can tell you this is my most favorite thing to do. You shouldn't need to take 2 weeks off to recharge, and we all know that's unrealistic. I just use that as an example. But we can't take 2 weeks off to recharge after a difficult week. But that doesn't mean you can't take a few hours out of your day to do something that will boost your energy. If 10 minutes can do wonders, just imagine what an hour can do. Tip number 4 is setting boundaries around your life. And this may sound a lot like saying no again, but it goes much deeper than that. It's about saying no to the things that don't support your overall priorities and well-being. And it's about making these boundaries non-negotiable. Make a conscious decision not to overload your life. And when someone wants you to do something that crosses a boundary, the answer must be no every time. And if you need some help setting boundaries, listen to my podcast, Setting and Maintaining Boundaries, that I recorded previously. Or feel free to reach out to me for help. I want you to plan time off and make it happen. This means no computers, digital devices, no emails, no urgent phone calls, nothing that reminds you of or focuses you on work. Realize that if you start making exceptions, it won't be long before you find yourself working every moment of the day or night. Will others be happy that you're taking time off? Maybe, maybe not. In fact, if you show up any moment of the day, people can come to expect you to be available to them 24/7. So be careful with that. Realistically, this is not a healthy situation for anyone. That's why your boundaries have to be firm. When you know you have time planned to spend in a way that's important to you, whether it's with your family, your friends, doing your favorite hobby, even spending some alone time, you can create something outside of work that brings you happiness and joy. When you need an energy boost, remind yourself of this time when nothing will stand in the way of getting some relaxation and restoration time. You have to make a commitment to yourself or it won't happen. The last energy boosting tip number 5, create a support system. We all need someone to turn to when something extremely stressful happens, especially when it's unexpected. Often you find yourself without anyone to turn to when you need someone to talk to because you have been running nonstop for so long, you've lost touch with everyone, including friends and family in some cases. It's time to reestablish or grow those relationships in a way that supports your highest good and theirs. Partner with a like-minded person. It can be a family member, close friend, or a colleague who can help you in creating a structure of support and understanding to better maneuver life's challenges. Everyone needs other people, no matter how busy they are. I know so many people in the consulting world that the only friends they have are the friends at work. They go out with these people, they talk to these people on the weekend. They have managed to only nurture those relationships from the office. And I'm advocating that you step outside of that and create friendships and relationships with people who do not only work with you, but maybe they don't do the same things as you do. Maybe meet people in one of your hobby groups or something. You can figure that out, but I'm advocating that you find friends outside of work. That's the bottom line. As John Donne said, no man or woman is an island. Make sure to schedule the special people that make up your support system in your life on a regular basis so that you can keep your social system strong. Having a support system in place is critical to survival in this fast-paced world. So take care to slow down and enjoy the company of friends and family and like-minded people. Connecting with others is part of experiencing life. And if you don't feel connected, then you feel like you're in the world all alone. There is nothing that saps your energy more than feeling like you're all alone and you have to do everything on your own. Aristotle said, the energy of the mind is the essence of life. If your mind feels exhausted, then your body will feel exhausted. Never forget that the stress of life can drain your energy, it can steal it and suck it away, or you can follow these 5 tips to boost your energy. Each of them will shield and protect your mind, your body, and your energy levels. You all have to constantly be thinking about your energy level because energy is what will get you where you're going. You can't live your life most efficiently if you are worn out all the time, and we all are in that state most of the time. You will end up like a race car that sputters and runs out of gas right after crossing the start line. You won't ever make it to the finish line if you don't take steps to preserve and boost your energy levels. I want you to just imagine yourself as a long distance runner and then consider how a long distance runner compares to a sprinter. A sprinter knows they're running a short distance and the goal is to reach the finish line as quickly as possible. A long distance runner knows that he or she has a long run ahead, and if his or her pace is too quick, energy may be used up too quickly and he or she may fall behind at the end. The sprinter knows when to put on the speed and get ahead and when to slow down and conserve the energy. Winning the race is all about the right pace. In order to find the perfect balance in life, this is an important lesson that we all have to learn. Are you letting it pass you by because you're too exhausted to keep up? You don't have to be exhausted any longer. Learning to use these 5 energy boosting tips will help you cope with the stress that comes at all of you. Whether you wanted to or not, start trying them out today, and you'll find you can accomplish more than you've ever dreamed. Thank you for tuning in and being a part of this podcast today. I encourage you to re-listen to the podcast and remember, you can live the life you want most. I want to know if you learned something today in this podcast that you didn't know before you started to listen, or that you took one thing of value that could help you in your life today, because it's all about you. I'm here to support you. And if you need further help, feel free to send me an email, schedule a chemistry session for a more detailed conversation. I want to thank you for joining me.
Thank you for listening to Balanced Living for Busy Professionals. This podcast is sponsored by DianeRandallConsults.com. If you like this show, the best way to support it is by leaving 5-star feedback on iTunes. And please, feel free to email your questions, comments, and suggestions to feedback@DianeRandallConsults.com. Until next week, namaste.